Under the golden lights of the America's Got Talent stage, a hush settled across the audience. The screen behind the judges displayed her name in bright, hopeful letters, Mara Dela Cruz, 17 years old, Philippines. She stepped onto the stage with slow, deliberate steps, her small frame almost trembling under the weight of the moment. The judges, Simon Cowell, Sofia Vergara, Howie Mandel, and Heidi Klum, watched her closely, each waiting for that first impression, that spark that separated the ordinary from the unforgettable. Her voice was soft as she introduced herself. "Hello, my name is Mara. I'm from Manila, Philippines." The accent was sweet, innocent, and tinged with nervousness. She clasped her hands together and continued, "I've dreamed of being here since I was a little girl. Back home, I used to watch AGT on our small TV with my mother. She told me that one day, if I worked hard enough, maybe I'd stand on this stage too." Simon tilted his head, sensing the emotion behind her words. "So, Mara," he said, "what are you going to sing for us today?" She smiled nervously, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I'm going to sing Defying Gravity, from the musical Wicked." The crowd murmured in surprise. It was a song known for its difficulty, one of those choices that could either crown a star or crush a dream. Simon's eyebrows lifted. "That's a big song," he said with a smirk. "Why this one?" Her eyes shimmered. "Because my mother used to tell me, never let where you come from limit how high you can go. When she passed away last year, this song became my reminder to keep defying gravity." A ripple of empathy moved through the judges' table. Simon nodded softly, his usual sarcasm replaced by respect. The track began to play. The first notes were soft, delicate piano keys echoing through the massive theater. Mara closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and when she began to sing, her voice floated like silk. Something happened in that moment. The nervousness melted away. Her tone was pure, crystalline, and surprisingly powerful for her size. The crowd leaned in as her voice climbed higher, each note delivered with precision and emotion. "Something has changed within me," she sang, her hands trembling slightly. "Something is not the same." Heidi's lips parted in awe. Sophia looked at Howie, both exchanging that rare glance, the kind that said, "We might be witnessing something special." As the song built, so did Mara's confidence. Her voice grew bolder, richer, filling every inch of the theater. The big moment, the one every performer fears, was approaching, the key change, the high soaring belt that could make or break everything. Simon leaned forward, elbows on the desk. And then it came. "It's time to try defying gravity." The note rang out like a bell, pure and unwavering. The crowd erupted mid-song, unable to contain their cheers. Even the crew backstage froze, mouths open. Mara didn't falter. She pushed through the bridge, each line higher, stronger, her voice defying not only gravity but expectation itself. By the time she reached the final note, long, sustained, and flawless, the audience was already on their feet. The camera panned across the judges, Howie clapping wildly, Heidi with tears in her eyes, Sophia shaking her head in disbelief. And Simon Cowell, known for his cold, calculated composure, was smiling, genuinely smiling. When the last note faded, the entire theater exploded in applause. People screamed her name. The golden confetti machine operator had his hand hovering over the button, unsure if it was time. Mara covered her mouth, overwhelmed, tears streaming down her face as she looked out into the ocean of lights and faces. Simon leaned into his microphone. "Mara," he began slowly, his British accent cutting through the cheers, "I've heard that song performed hundreds of times, by professionals, by Broadway stars, even by contestants who've been singing for decades. But that was something else." The crowd cheered louder. "You took one of the hardest songs in musical theater," Simon continued, "and not only did you sing it, you made it your own. I was sitting here thinking, there's no way she's going to hit that note. And then, boom, you blew the roof off this place." Mara clasped her hands over her heart, shaking her head as if it was all a dream. Heidi leaned forward. "Mara, you have such a gift. You started like a delicate bird, and then suddenly, this incredible powerhouse emerged. I felt every word you sang." Sophia added, "You have the kind of voice that makes people feel hope again. You made us believe that anything is possible." Howie, never one to stay quiet, chimed in. "Mara, that was a Broadway performance on the AGT stage. I can already see people downloading your version of that song tomorrow. You're a superstar." Simon looked at the golden buzzer in front of him. The crowd sensed it, beginning to chant, Golden. 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 Mara's hands trembled. Tears fell freely. Simon smiled again, a rare twinkle in his eye. You know what, Mara, he said, leaning back slightly, your mother was right. You were born to stand on this stage. And for her, for you, and for the millions of people watching from around the world. He slammed the golden buzzer. The theater exploded. Golden confetti rained from the ceiling, swirling around Mara like a golden storm. She fell to her knees, sobbing, as her family rushed from backstage, her father, her younger brother, both crying uncontrollably. Simon stood and clapped, something he almost never did. The crowd chanted her name again and again, Mara, Mara, Mara. In that moment, a 17-year-old girl from the crowded streets of Manila became a global sensation. The video of Mara's performance went viral within hours. It spread like wildfire across social media, amassing millions of views overnight. Headlines read, Filipina teen stuns America's Got Talent with Defying Gravity, Simon Cowell speechless after Filipina's performance, the voice that crossed oceans. Clips of her crying under the falling confetti filled TikTok feeds. Reaction videos poured in from around the world, fans in Brazil, Japan, and South Africa all marveling at how such a young girl could deliver so much emotion. News stations in the Philippines replayed the moment endlessly. Schools held watch parties. Even the country's president posted congratulations online. But behind the viral fame was a deeper story, a girl who had climbed through pain and poverty to reach that shining moment. Mara had grown up in Tondo, one of the most crowded districts in Manila. Her mother, a local teacher, was her first music coach. They didn't have much. Sometimes electricity was cut off, and dinner was often just rice and dried fish, but they had a small karaoke machine. Her mother would sing ballads from Wicked, Les Miserables, and Whitney Houston, while Mara would imitate her. Every evening, their small apartment echoed with music. It was their happiness. When her mother fell ill, things changed quickly. Hospital bills piled up, and Mara's father sold his tricycle just to buy medicine. Despite it all, her mother would smile and say, one day, you'll sing for the world, Anik. Promise me you'll keep singing. When her mother passed away, Mara didn't sing for months. Her voice, once her joy, became her grief. Until one night, she found her mother's old karaoke machine and pressed play. The song that loaded was Defying Gravity. That night, through tears and pain, she sang. Not to perform, but to heal. Months later, a family friend sent her audition tape to America's Got Talent. She never thought they'd call her back. But they did, and that's how a girl from the narrow alleys of Manila found herself standing in front of Simon Cowell. Weeks passed after her golden buzzer moment, and Mara returned for the live shows in Los Angeles. The world waited to see if she could live up to her viral fame. On the night of her performance, backstage was a whirlwind of nerves. Other contestants whispered encouragement, but Mara stood quietly, clutching a locket that held her mother's picture. She whispered, "This one's for you, Mama." The stage lights dimmed. Simon looked at the other judges. "Here we go," he said softly. The curtain lifted, revealing Mara standing on a platform surrounded by mist. This time, she wasn't the nervous girl from the auditions, she was glowing with confidence. The music began, an original song she had written herself, titled, Wings of My Mother. It was a soft piano ballad that told the story of a little girl who dreamed beyond the clouds, lifted by the wings of her mother's love. Each lyric carried her story, the pain, the hope, the promise. Her voice soared once again, gentle yet commanding, filled with raw emotion. People in the crowd wept openly. Even the camera operator's hands shook. When she hit the final line, "Now I'm defying gravity, just like you taught me to," the entire building rose to its feet again. Simon wiped his eye discreetly. "I don't cry easily," he admitted, "but that got me." Sophia added, "You have the power to touch hearts, Mara. You remind us why we love this show." The audience cheered for minutes on end. It wasn't just applause, it was gratitude. Gratitude for a girl who dared to dream, dared to rise, and dared to defy every limit placed before her. Months later, when the AGT finale arrived, Mara stood among the finalists. The tension was unbearable. The host called out each name until finally, and the winner of America's Got Talent 2025 is. The pause felt eternal. Mara Dela Cruz. Confetti erupted once more, brighter than ever. Simon rushed to the stage, hugging her tightly. "You did it, Mara," he said. "You really did it." She could only cry, holding her locket close. For Mama, she whispered. Her first album, Defying Gravity, The Journey of Mara Dela Cruz, topped charts not just in America, but across Asia and Europe. She performed at the Grammy Awards, was invited to Broadway, and used her fame to build a music school for underprivileged children in Manila. Every time she sang, she carried her mother's memory, her people's pride, and her own unbreakable belief that no dream was too high. And somewhere above the clouds, her mother was smiling, watching her daughter truly defy gravity.